Hey there, YouTube. Um, Leighton Welding, see you out there. My apologies for the short delay. Had some minor technical difficulties, as sometimes happens. I want to talk again tonight about fine tuning your channel for growth on YouTube and figuring out how to get your channel discovered and your videos discovered and debunk some of the stuff that people are talking about out there. Um, One of the things I've been talking about the most is the value of having a good quality channel description and quality video descriptions. And one of the biggest things I'm hearing is, man, that nobody looks at that stuff. Nobody looks at the description. Nobody reads uh, the video description, and certainly nobody looks at the channel description. What does look at that is quote unquote the YouTube machine, the algorithm. Those things. Without those descriptions in place, they're never going to find you. It's like opening up an ice cream shop with a black painted front of the store and wondering why nobody's coming in, man. You need ice cream cones on the front of that place. You know what I'm saying? Um, anyway, I wanted to get into some video discovery tips and how I want you guys to understand, why putting some of this stuff in place is of importance. The first thing I want you to get is that as far as the video goes, YouTube essentially has no opinion about the type of video you make. As all you got to do is make it and put it out there. Um, and it doesn't particularly favor any format, whether it's horizontal or vertical. Generally speaking, the vertical stuff at this point best tagged as a short. If you want to do a short and you want to get the love that shorts get, do your videos in vertical and tag the video with hashtag shorts. Otherwise, man, shoot them in horizontal, even if you're using a phone. Yeah, key, absolutely key. Um, but the other thing to consider is that all the videos are ranked based on performance and viewer participation. People that are clicking on it and watching it. Again, it doesn't matter what you're putting out. Anything's legit. Doesn't matter how cruddy you think it is or how I'm trying to think of a off the top of my head some fantastic movie producer, but John Landis or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be some fantastic freaking production, but um, one of the things that YouTube, or one of the first things that YouTube looks at, is videos that your viewers or potential viewers have viewed in the past. Take Pole Barn Garage's 1970 Pontiac GTO just as an example to get a year, make, and model in there. If people have watched that, for example, YouTube wants to show them more of that, more Pontiac, more GTO, and even more specifically, 1970. If you've got 1970 Pontiac GTO tagged in your stuff and somebody goes out there and watches what's becoming pretty freaking viral as far as Pole Barn Garage goes, the Holy Goat, the 1970 Pontiac GTO, you're gonna pop up in the recommendations. But it doesn't work unless you've got 1970 Pontiac GTO in your title and 1970 Pontiac GTO in your description. And especially if you've got 1970 Pontiac GTO in your title and in your description. Uh, when you've got it in both, that equals what they call relevance. Um, if you don't put a description in there and you put some of the titles I've seen is like May 7th, 2022. And that's the freaking title of the video. Uh, you're never going to show up in search results. You're never going to show up in recommendations. The other thing to consider is YouTube looks at what videos are watched together. And again, that kind of leads, especially in the automotive space, um, year, make, and model. It's imperative that you put the year, make, and model in your title. It's imperative that you put the year, make, and model of whatever it is you're talking about in your video description. Again, because when it's in both places, it becomes relevant. And the other thing to consider is if somebody's ever watched, whether it was 2 minutes ago or 2 weeks ago, a video about a 1970 Pontiac GTO, you're going to show up. You're going to be relevant in the search results because one of the most important things that YouTube looks at is what people have watched in the past. YouTube is, of course, they're all about the machine. It's all about keeping people on YouTube. It's all about keeping watch time as high as possible. They want people watching video after video after video after video. And you got to help yourself to become one of those videos, if that makes sense. Again, we're using the Pole Barn Garage Holy Goat 1970 Pontiac GTO as the example. Anybody that's ever watched a 1970 Pontiac GTO video, they're going to get suggested whatever comes out from Pole Barn Garage because, well, I'm managing a lot of his titles, descriptions. I sponsor the channel. But because of all of those things, because, again, year, make, model, 1970 Pontiac GTO, doesn't matter if it's a piece of shit, shot up, target practice car or not, it's going to show up for all those people that have ever watched a 1970 Pontiac GTO video. The other thing to keep in mind is YouTube doesn't really give a rat's ass what kind of video you put out there. Yeah, the quality of the video. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb, and I'm going to say it's almost secondary, because people will watch virtually anything. Again, if you've got your titles square and you've got your descriptions square, your stuff may just show up. And those that are out there punishing themselves for putting out what they're, rewatching and thinking to themselves, this is garbage, man. Let the viewer decide. But my point is put yourself in the best position where you've got, again, with our example, 1970 Pontiac GTO in the title, you've got that in the description, and let the viewer decide. Looking over some notes here. The other thing to consider with YouTube, there's kind of two sides of getting your stuff seen on YouTube. One is search. If somebody searches, again, for our example, 1970 Pontiac GTO, Dalton's probably going to show up because he's got one. He's got multiple videos that are tagged 1970 GTO. It's got it in the titles. It's got it in the descriptions. And that's great. Again, if somebody goes to YouTube and they type in 1970 Pontiac GTO or even Pontiac GTO, the 1970 will be secondary. You, of course, want to have it there. But the other thing that YouTube looks at is what people have watched in the past, their view history. And you need to set yourself up for becoming part of what they watch in the future. Uh, uh, let's get away from the 1970 Pontiac GTO. Let's say you're talking about a 1949 Studebaker pickup truck, for example. Uh, Anybody that's ever watched a 1949 Studebaker pickup video, and you put a video out there like that, um, they're going to see that in their recommendations. But you've got to have 1949 Studebaker pickup in your title, and you got to have it in your description. And on that note, let's take a quick break and see who's online here. Blake's in the house. Welcome. Desert Mopars, William Sanders. He's talking about howdy, Blake. Dizzy Izzy, welcome. Cousin Cletus, good to have you here. Leighton Welding, he was first in. Appreciate that. 25 by 30, Desert Mopars. The other thing that YouTube uses to discover other videos to show is other channels that the particular viewer watches. And again, it all comes back to your channel description and your video titles and your video descriptions. If they're out there watching, we use the same example. Sometimes I really struggle to come up with the examples, but the pole barn garage example, the Pontiac GTO, the Holy Goat. You gotta there's that dead air that shouldn't be in videos. Thankfully, this is alive, but man, you gotta set yourself up for whatever it is you're working on. Again, your make and model, especially make and model. Figure out a way to get yourself set up for everybody else that's already watched that stuff on YouTube over years and years and years and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of views. If you put something out that matches that, if you tag yourself well, if you title yourself well, if you description yourself well, those people that are already interested in whatever it is you're doing are going to get the recommendation. And on that note, just for shits and grins, we'll go ahead and see if we can. I'll go ahead and pop the link out there. See if anybody wants to jump on board and get involved and talk a little bit more about what we're talking about. There's the link right there, friends and neighbors. Generally speaking, when I talk about this stuff, I'm talking about the automotive industry. That's my specialty. I've been working with automotive channels for decades, literally. I've been on the internet since the early 90s. Good deal. Topic interest, things like the Mopar world, getting things like Mopar tagged when you're working on a Chrysler or you're working on a Dodge, slipping the term Mopar in there is going to serve you really well. It's going to serve you especially well if you get that in the title and if you get it in the description. It can't be understated. Okay, let's see what we got in the comments here. Dizzy is he looking for a drag race streetcar? Man, I've reached out to a bunch of your channels with some, in most cases, some pretty in-depth reviews. Some of them 1,000, 1,500 words. What are your questions? What do you need to know? What do you want to know? What are you curious about? Let me know. Blake adds Mopar all the time. It helps. The thing to do is consider, what are people actually typing into the search bar. There, most people in the automotive realm, they're looking for information and stuff to compare whatever it is they got. Mopar is a super huge term. GM, Chevy, Chevrolet, Ford, with, completely obvious. Give me 1 second. Gotta let the dog out. Give me just one quick moment. Be right back. Gotta take care of Maddie. It always seems, as much as I try to set myself up for doing a live, something always comes up. But what are you going to do? Where we at in the comments? Mopar Man 1978 picked up 2 whole subs. Guess it's better than nothing. It is better than nothing. And subs coming on, subs dropping off. Man, that's part of the fun of YouTube. I've said this before on other broadcasts and other quote unquote guest appearances. But you got to understand, it's not your channel. It's not anything that you're doing. In most cases, I'd call it 99.9% of the time. It's, but the the viewers account, are they a spammer? Are they legit? If not, you're going to lose them. And that's the long and the short of it. Dean Stevenson's in the house. Appreciate that. Don't know why my camera's so ate up right now, but it is what it is. Leighton Welding, yeah, you got a little ways to go, but what the hell? Yeah, I'm going to back out of this for a quick second and see if I can get that camera to square away. A little bit better, we'll see. Blake says he spends hours on a video and keep doing it and learning. That's the thing that kills me, the most. I mean, people will spend untold hours on a video, and then they just post it with no description and title like May 5th, 2022 update. How in the hell do you think YouTube's going to send that out to somebody? They're not. You'll be at the bottom of the freaking barrel. What are you working on? What are you working on specifically, vehicle wise? What are you working on part wise? Putting a brand new intake in a 4-barrel carb on a 1969 Chevrolet Impala. Okay, now you've got an opportunity to be found. Um, so I've studied so many of these channels, and so many of them are saying, well, golly, we just don't get the hits. We just don't get the views. Here's why. Let's see. Mopar Man. Good man. Mopar Man, I guarantee you that stuff will pay off, and that's one of the thing I've mentioned a few times. Man, I work for a lot of corporate clients, and I get paid pretty well doing it. But I ain't doing anything glamorous. What I'm doing is I'm going in and modifying titles and descriptions. In some cases, adding tags. Uh, Tags and hashtags, as far as YouTube goes, they really are. They're two different things. Um, Tags can be added when you look at the video properties page in your settings, and for example, that's the best way to tag no name nationals. You can also add hashtags to the video description. All you got to do is make sure that they are absolutely point on. Um, Hey, Blake, you want to jump in here for a bit? Again, Blake. We kind of mentioned in a chat that I was kind of talking the text, the discovery side of things. Let's see if we can push this a little bit more towards the video side of things, which Blake is going to be uh, point on with. Um, Blake's having a quick smoke, no sweat. I'm getting there myself. Leighton Welding says you got to start somewhere. You do. You got to start somewhere. Um, but you also got to tell, it's the ice cream cone shop that has the storefront of the ice cream shop is painted black and it's got a gray awning, but it's got no sign. And what happens when people walk down Main Street and see this black face storefront with a gray sign? They walk right by it until you put a bright pink strawberry ice cream cone on the front of it. Oh, it's about ice cream cones. Do they have other flavors? They got Metropolitan, and they've got chocolate, and they've got vanilla. And you start dressing up the front of your storefront with the various ice cream cone flavors. People start walking through the door, and it's the same thing on YouTube. If you put a cruddy title and no description, everybody's gonna walk on by. And even worse, because there's no description and a lame title, for lack of a better term, nobody's gonna see in the first place. And that's pretty much what's gonna happen on Main Street. You got a unimportant, unadorned storefront. People are gonna walk right on by. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Peckerwood? Appreciate it. Morning Wood. Morning Woods. I often use that on on my Facebook page, posting gold classic woodies and whatnot. Good job, Layden. Uh, some of this stuff to get your channel to grow, it's less than pleasant. It's not fun. It's tedious. and you actually got to think. Um, but the reward, it's there. It's absolutely there. Uh, what else we got going on here in the comments? Everything Horsepower says, I'm trying to clean up my titles and description after listening to you, and I'm trying to put out content people like. Look at my videos and views. Um, One of the interesting things about YouTube is one of the last things that's actually considered in terms of showing your video to somebody is the actual video, because it really can't tell what it is or isn't. They can, from a machine standpoint, they can get the transcription. Hey, there's Blake coming in. I'll bring him in just a quick second. They can run the transcription of the video, but the video is almost secondary. Once you get somebody to click, that's when the video becomes important. It's got to be good. And let's bring Blake's getting his stuff set up. He's got his neons turned on. There he is.
Hey, Buzz, how's it going?
Oh, just a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. What's crack-a-lacking?
Oh, yeah. Sent the link, and I got the kids. The old lady's still working tonight, so I figured I'd come on for a quick smoke.
Good deal. Appreciate it. Man, again, as often, my expertise is the discovery via titles, description, channel description, and things of that nature. Let's say they've got that dialed in. They've got a good, solid description. They've got a good quality title. What do they got to do in their video to get people to because it's a two-step process. You got to get them to click first,
Right.
and then you got to get them to stick.
Well, I'm not
What
sure.
comments have you got as far as getting them to stick?
I'm not sure if I'm the right person to ask for that because I think my viewer retention's about only 10 minutes. But
10 minutes, honestly, is relatively strong.
yeah, it's been as high as 15, but we used to pump out a lot of 40-minute videos. So I think that was our hardcore fan base that would stick through for the majority of it. Because we always add like blooper spoofs after the merch plug at the end and kind of give you a reason to try to stick through the whole thing, If it is funny, we think it's funny.
One of the things I've noticed recently, not necessarily specific to the No Name Nationals crowd, but because I've been watching so many of the No Name Nationals crowd videos, is they're, and for obvious reasons, they're merging together several videos, and they're putting out an 8-minute video, for example, and just almost force a habit. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
4 minutes into an 8-minute video, and what are people doing? They're clicking away because they think it's over, even though there's 4 full minutes left
Right.
in the video. And kind of watch out for that, folks out there, because I've seen it countless times in the last month or two, especially watching newer YouTube folks putting that stuff out. It's
And
okay, great. There's this, rappy uppy kind of language,
yeah,
and
you,
you,
you got a good point there, Buzz, and I can see it real time because I always premiere my videos on Saturday. So usually when you see the merch plug at the end hop on the screen, it goes from like 50 or 40 viewers and it drops down to 27 instantly. And there's still like 3 minutes of the video left.
yeah,
But that would be like a 38-minute long video. So if they're still around for that long, then God bless them.
and how, and
Yeah.
how.
But I think, some people wonder, like, it takes us about a week and our video drops. And that's because I might be my own sucker for punishment and like to edit video and spend a lot of time trying to cut out the crap. You know, there's not a lot of my feet on the ground walking 20 feet to the next thing to grab a tool. You know, you don't need to film you grabbing a tool every time.
That's killer. Yeah, it will send people way faster than you can shake a stick at.
And then you got three dudes in the shop that constantly give each other bullshit, and you want to leave it all in because you think it's funny, but you got to kill your babies too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
So that's like inside joke stuff. You know, after a while, you build an audience, start sprinkling that stuff in, but people won't get it. They won't get it, you know? So
Yeah.
just kind of cut to a broad, I don't know,
There,
one
there,
layer.
there's absolutely a difference between feeding an established audience and gaining new viewers. If you're absolutely right, the inside joke kind of thing and that kind of jive, it's not going to do anything for you in terms of gaining new viewers. It just isn't. That's the way it works.
But then I don't even know what I'm talking about because I've been stuck at like 3,400 for a while now.
Uh, Still, I mean, respectable start. Um, Nobody's a wizard at this stuff. You when I get out there and I talk this kind of stuff, I'm sharing actual experiences that I've had, and I try to preach the basic most stuff. If you're not doing these basic most things, it's just like a website. If you don't give your website a decent name and a decent description, you're never going to show up on Google. Those friends and family you asked, hey, go check it out, they'll go check it out, but it'll never grow beyond that. And that's where I think a lot of these channels is they're at the point where they're not growing beyond the no name nationals community, which is super strong. The subscription rate among the no name nationals channels is, I'd love to know what it is actually, but it is high.
For all those guys that started the channel for the Snow Name Nationals, you just like ran over the nitro bottle in the video game and got a huge push. Because like I said to John, I'm like, man, I wish this was around almost 3 years ago when we started.
Yeah,
We
no doubt.
scratched and clawed for first or 50, and we were amazed. 50 people want to watch us. Holy cow.
Exactly.
It still blows my mind. You get messages all the time from people all over the world. And it's just weird, man. And then people start noticing you a little bit. Only at like Mopar shows, but that was a kind of a weird trip too.
You mentioned Mopar shows, and for whatever reason, that got me business. I mentioned business cards at one point, and a lot of people are thinking to themselves, how do you grow subscribers? First thing you got to do is look at your audience, and the audience, mostly in the automotive realm, man, they're 35 kinda to 45 to 65.
Yeah.
You know what those guys are into? They're into business cards that they can slip into their wallet and take home and exercise.
We've printed 3,000 business cards, and like that's our third order. We get
Right
1,000
on.
at a time.
Right on. I mean, again, for the that's the other thing that people got to do. They know your audience. The automotive audience it's not 25 to 35-year-olds. There's some, but the vast majority of them are 35/45 to 65. Trust me, those are business card guys. And one of the biggest ways I grew Roadkill Customs is passing out business cards and decals.
Oh yeah.
One of the best things I ever did was getting away actually from business cards and basically turning my decals into business cards. By putting the various, especially if you've got a really straightforward operation name like Roadkill Customs. Where's one of my business cards right now?
Yeah, we slam our stickers in bathrooms at bars
Oh,
because our
dude,
viewers like
man,
to drink beer.
high level, brother, high level, man. That's the business card I give out at car shows. It says Roadkill's got, www, meaning Google, basically YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Um, Anybody can find it anywhere with that. But again, the people you're talking to, the people you're actually after, the people that will watch your stuff for the duration. That's the other interesting thing. It's difficult to see in YouTube's analytics. You can determine that the audience is 45 to 65, but it's also notable that the 45 to 65 crowd will watch a lot longer. They're far more forgiving than the younger crowd. If you do get a 25 to 45 in there, they'll watch your stuff. But man, if there's some dead air, if there's some walking, like Blake mentioned, walking to get the tool for 37 seconds, 37 seconds to walk to go get a freaking torque wrench is an eternity. And people bail. They bail faster than you'll make your head spin. Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
That happens to me all the time, man. I'm pushing. Yeah. I'm.
Oh,
Yeah.
so our demographic that watch our automotive channels, guess who has all the money? That 45 to
Exactly.
65. So Google AdSense revenue, you're probably making more RPM than a gaming channel. So
There's no doubt
RPM's
about
revenue per mile. So Google's basically saying how much you make per 1,000 subscribers. It could be, if you got a video game channel, $3 every 1,000 views. Automotive channel, I've seen mine 1 month as high as 15. And
11 to 16 is the range that I'm used to on the social media stuff I'm, most active on. And in this case, it's Facebook I'm most active on, simply because that's the one that drives most traffic to my website.
oh yeah, everybody's got Facebook, man.
Exactly. And a lot of people are kind of, semi anti Facebook. The slowest group to be anti-Facebook, the 45 to 65 males,
John
the
Wilbur.
automotive audience. They're sticking around and they're viewing stuff. They're watching videos, looking at pictures. And, the only downside to Facebook is they don't necessarily love when you post a YouTube video.
Right.
Simply because Facebook knows when you post a YouTube video, if somebody clicks on it, they're leaving Facebook to go to YouTube. So they don't give it the normal love that they get. All you need to do is figure out a way to capitalize on that, especially guys that are doing shorts and that kind of stuff. You don't have to send every single video to Facebook, but if you've got a 30-second short, pop your 30-second short on Facebook as a native Facebook video and pop a 3-second and hit me at, my YouTube channel.
I took that advice from you that night that we were talking, and I condensed 8 months of Barracuda wrenching into an 8-minute video. And I just directly posted it to Facebook. And within the first paragraph, the link to my YouTube channel. And you can see how many clicks you have on the link.
Yeah.
And it wasn't astronomical, but 6 more clicks than you would have had without doing it.
Exactly.
So every click counts, I guess. So just like every vote
click does count. Every click does count. There's no doubt about that.
But Buzz, the old lady just got here. I think I got a split. So
no sweat. Blake, thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it, brother. Y'all be good. And I'm sure we'll catch back up. If not sooner, we'll catch back up on John Wilburn's next creator studio.
And a real quick plug for myself, tonight's video that we posted at 6 as we open your banners and talk about the No Name 500 a little bit.
What? Right on,
Yep,
man.
yep. So, all right. See you later, guys.
Hey, man, take care, Blake. Be good.
Yep. Bye.
Rapid Transit says he's amazed how many Facebook groups get pissed if you post a YouTube video. Man, the Facebook groups get pissed for the same reason Facebook itself doesn't like them when you post them on your own stuff because they know that they're losing a viewer. Here's the way to do it. Take your thumbnail, post the thumbnail as a photo, give a good solid description, and put the link in the description. Those that are interested, they're going to click. And on that note, I've got to let my dog back in. Had to leave for a moment ago to let my dog out. Got to go let her back in. Her name's Maddie. She's a Treeing Walker Coonhound, and she is my heart's love. Be right back. Don't go away. Sorry about that. Some of you probably heard her barking in the background, but getting back to the Facebook, posting a video to Facebook, the most productive way to do it again is post the video thumbnail because Facebook loves two things. Facebook loves video, Facebook loves photos. So if you post the thumbnail as a photo, but you give the basic rundown, which is generally speaking the title of your YouTube video, uh, and then pop a link to the video in the description on Facebook of that photo, you're gonna get the love. Um, Again, if you just paste in the photo, or excuse me, the YouTube video URL, um, generally speaking, it's not going to do all that well. Again, because they know they're losing the customers. Mopar Man says I'm on Facebook as well under my real name, but I only mention the YouTube channel on the Mopar groups. That's actually a pretty good point, Mopar Man 1978. One of the best places to promote your stuff and your YouTube videos is on the Facebook groups, the interest groups. If you're into Mopar, there is a shit ton of Mopar groups on Facebook that you can post your stuff to. And again, sometimes you got to join the group. Some of them are private, some of them are public, um, and they, in some cases they've got to approve the post. But generally speaking, if you post it as a native, take that same video file that you uploaded to YouTube, put a minor edit at the end and hit my YouTube channel at the end, and then upload that as a native Facebook video, you're going to do pretty well. The other workaround is posting the thumbnail as a photo and just very simply putting the YouTube link in as part of the description on Facebook. Bikes, Turlo's Garage is here. Bikes with Turlo, Dizzy Izzy. Hey, Dizzy. Rapid Transit. I'm scrolling back a little bit, see if I can find any other actual questions. Seems funny. That's absolutely correct, Beckerwood. C says, seems funny how just different platforms have to compete for watch time. I agree, it's a thing, but most folks will go back to Facebook or YouTube right again. Um, there is truth to that. But you got to try it and see what works for your stuff and your particular audience. Don't be bashful. Go ahead and post it. They click through, you get another view. If they love it, you get another subscribe, and then they head on back over. So be it. But most of these folks are also spending their time split social media platforms. They're spending a bit of their time on Facebook, they're spending a bit of it on YouTube, and as long as your stuff's decent enough to get them to subscribe, you'll do well. Don't feel stupid. Just start doing it now, Dizzy. Just do it. Facebook works. It absolutely does. My following on Facebook is pushing 500,000 people right now. It's like 400 and I don't know. I think it's 440 likes and 450 some odd followers or something along those lines. And I've concentrated on that primarily because it does actually generate clicks through to my website. And just so we all understand it, for me, because I'm a website developer, it was important for me to own my own audience. I didn't want Facebook or YouTube to be able to take my audience away, for example. And yeah, if you're looking for a website, reach out. I can absolutely help you out. But what's cousin Cletus got to say? Cousin Cletus says, including shorts, he's 12 videos away from having 250 videos. I need to get busy and put some more videos out. Man, 250 is not a bad number. It's arguable. I've not looked at your stuff most recently, but one of the other things to consider is some of the older stuff. I know Cletus has been around a little bit. He's got some subs, but it's probably worth taking a look at some of your content and seeing if you can merge 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 videos from the past into a more succinct video that you can re-release with all of the BS edited out. When I started this one tonight, I was talking about the pole barn garage holy goat example. He did 23. Actually, now I suppose it's 24 build videos on the holy goat. He conglomerated those into a single video. It was 55 minutes long. If you try to watch the whole soliloquy, it's, you got to invest days. But that combined video, the Cliff Notes version, if you will, or the Reader's Digest version, if you will, it's his number one video at this point. It's over 200,000 views, and it's responsible for more subscribers to his channel than any other single video yet. And some of the individual videos did really well, and they generated a lot of subscribers, but that Cliff Notes version, that Reader's Digest version, that conglomeration, it's outperforming everything. Yeah, I feel you. Since 2009. Yeah, clean them up, re-release them. In most cases, when you're doing one of the re-release, one of the big questions is, do I delete the old stuff? Generally, no. If it's crud, consider it. But if it's got, you know, again, if you're considering it, if it's got really minor views and you can now, with what you've learned already, re-edit it, get the, dead air time out of it and that kind of stuff, and re-release it. Generally speaking, though, you're going to want to leave your old stuff there. People will just ignore it, which is no big deal. It really isn't. Whatever likes they got, whatever subscribers you got from that, leave them in place. Although deleting a video doesn't delete a subscriber either. But point is refreshing it, making something new from something old. A lot of you guys are familiar with this for doing what you're doing with automobiles, making something new from something old. Use that same mindset with your videos and, get some more love. Good night, William Sanders. Appreciate you joining us. Hey, Mopar Al's in the house. Look at there. We must be famous. Mopar Al, I saw a couple of your videos. I posted a little something on Facebook. See if we can get a little traffic going your way. Man, shit happens out there in the world. Thinking good thoughts. So, Turlo's Garage and Bikes with Turlo. Clearly, same folks. What's the story there? You guys just trying to pimp another channel? No problem there. I mean, clearly, cars, bikes, get the difference. But is that a father, son? Is that what's the story there, Turlos? Looking through the comments, seeing if I missed any questions. And yeah, again, let me repeat, if you guys have got any questions that you'd like answered that, you know, anywhere in this realm, fire them out there. I'll do the best I can. If I can't answer it, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you where you can get the answer. Man, we had Blake from Bad Productions on earlier. He shared some pretty good insights. I'm going to go ahead and post the link again if anybody else wants to jump on board. Going through the there's nothing wrong at all with popping other stuff. Mopar Man 1978. One of the when I was living in Southern California, there was a fire that was it was miles away from our house, but on a time lapse, it looked like it was right there. Ended up doing the licensing thing to a news agency, which was pretty cool. Made a couple of bucks, not a whole lot, but a little bit. But that kind of excitement it gets people to your channel. Another really good example recently is the Freedom Convoy kind of footage. People are getting that. They're witnessing it in person. They're posting the videos to their channel, and enough people are interested in the type of channel that is posting that stuff, and boom, you get some more views, you get some more viewers. Uh-oh. This sounds like a borderline call out. And there's the answer. Jason's building his first hot rod for the No Name Nationals. And if you guys haven't checked him out, let me see if I can pop his see if we can do some link popping here. Hold on, I can't see you for a quick second. Let me Thought I had it there. Gonna find it elsewhere. Anyway, if you guys have got some specific questions about your channel and videos and what you're doing, don't be bashful. Pop them out there and we'll see if we can get them answered. Again, if I can't answer them, I can probably put you in the right direction to Carlos. You guys can hear I use an old school keyboard. Proud of it. Hey, there's Mike's Mischief. Appreciate it, Mike. There's a link to Turlo's Garage. Turlo's Garage says he wanted so bad to take a Celica and blow the doors off an LS Volvo. If you guys haven't seen that build, that's kind of cool. But it looks like he'll be bringing the Grand Cherokee so we can tow bikes and Turlo's hot rods. So be it. John Wilburn's in the house. Hey, John, if you want to join us, come on board. I posted the link not long ago, but I can repost it. See if we can get some of these folks in. Here's a pretty good question. Rot to Rat, Rust to Hot Rod, which is a pretty cool name. Is a 2-minute video more impactful than a 10-minute video? Excuse me. I'm going to bring John Wilburn here as I answer that question. Is a 2-minute video more impactful than a 10-minute video? The magic behind the shorter videos for newer channels is you're going to get longer video duration. In terms of percentage, if somebody's willing to invest 2 minutes into a video, and you've got a 2 or 3 minute video, your view duration is going to be pretty high. If their tolerance is about 2 or 3 minutes, and you've got a 10-minute video, it translates into a relatively low. They're only watching a particular short percentage of that video, and that's where the kind of magic comes in. Mr. John Wilburn,
how's it going?
No Name Nationals event coordinator. How are you this evening, sir?
All right, we got 138 days to go. I got my wall of kaboom, as I'm calling it here.
Right on.
I expect this collection to grow after the event.
I would expect that it will. It'll be curious to see whose stuff holds up and whose stuff blows up.
Yeah, that in regards to the 2-minute video and the 10-minute video, there's nothing wrong with 10 minutes of video if you have 10 good minutes of content. But the thing is, if nobody's heard of your channel, those 2-minute videos are a really good way to get your foot in the door.
Exactly.
It's a sales pitch. It's a sales pitch.
That's a really good way to put it. Sometimes I refer to it as an elevator pitch, but yeah,
it is.
That's a great way to put it.
Think about it like this. I work in commission sales, have my entire career. What you should do is think, how much time do I have to make this sale, and adjust your pitch accordingly. So do I have 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time I have, and I'm so grateful to have, I'm going to adjust my pitch to use it the wisest. And the problem is trying to sell somebody a 10-minute video when you've only got 2 minutes to make the sale.
Very well said. Very, very well said.
Once you have them, yes, 10-minute videos, people want to follow along the journey.
Slantfish 65 SD, whatever that, we're thinking slant 6 maybe, fishy, who knows? What is that, a barracuda? I don't know. Anyway, he's at 723 subs. He's not a no-name 500 contender, but we're not going to hold that against you.
Not yet.
Using your info and would appreciate any other information. Caution, you're not a computer guy. Generally speaking, you guys have not got, you don't have to be computer guys. You just need to take your time and think a little bit about what you're doing. Remember, we talked early in this broadcast about YouTube doesn't necessarily really care what kind of video you're putting out, as long as it's not violating any kind of terms and that kind of stuff. But what helps get it seen is things like titles and descriptions and the things that you say within that video, because eventually your video is going to turn into a transcript. But when it comes to search, you know, if you're working on a particular vehicle, mention that year, make, and model, repeat it in the description. If again, if it's 1975 Chevy Impala in the title, if it's 1975 Chevrolet Impala in the description, that equals relevance. That means you're going to be higher in the search results. And the other thing that sets you up for is anybody. The way that there's search is one thing on YouTube, recommendations is the other thing. If anybody has ever watched a 1975 Chevy Impala YouTube video, they're going to be shown yours, as long as you feed YouTube the information to help them do that, if that makes sense.
You know what? So, and anybody with any size channel can learn stuff from what Buzz is telling you. I've noticed this since we've been talking so much about titles, right? And how the words we use in our titles and the relevance they have to searching and finding your videos and being suggested. I've been keeping an eye on my top three. You know, YouTube in your studio puts up your top three videos for the last 48 hours. And my top three are consistently ones that have the best titles with the best words, the best use of description. It's like, for instance, I got a video of a 7-minute video I did on putting floor pans and cab mounts in a 1976 F100. And I have all of those words in there. That video gets probably 10 views a day, every day, and has for years.
And it has for years.
Yeah.
It's what they call evergreen. When you
It is.
have all of the right terms in there that solves a particular problem,
Yes.
in this case, fixing the rusty floors, that is,
Yes.
we all know how rampant that is. Granted, it's compared to some of the other things that are searched on YouTube, but it'll do well year round.
If I had put a title, like let's say people can look at the thumbnail, they know what I'm working on because they follow my channel. But let's say I had just put in the thumbnail, putting fresh metal in the old Ford, it wouldn't do nearly as well because YouTube wouldn't know who to suggest that to.
Precisely.
But anyway, and it's like my dad's. I did a video with him on his Jeep, but I noticed my title, 19 Navy surplus. 1980 Jeep CJ5. Every word of that contributes to how YouTube sends it out and recommends it. And again, that one gets more views than it really ever should have. So yeah, it makes a huge difference, these titles. I see it in my stats. Buzz is telling you right.
Johnny Mopar asked, if you launch a video today, then launch a video tomorrow, does the second video stall any advancement of the first video? No, in most cases, it's going to accelerate it, especially if they're related. The second video is theoretically, if you've done things well, you've done a decent title and a decent subscription, the second video is not going to stall. It's going to become the recommendation after somebody watches the first part. So yeah, I mean, you're doing yourself a great service there. A little thanks for the info. My pleasure. Any of you guys, I don't think that I've got the link. I don't have the, I don't think I have the link to Foolishly. I don't think I have the link to a help page. But any of you guys that are out there in the No Name 500s that are looking for some help with your channel, I mean, some solid advice on your channel. I've still got a stack of channels that I'm working my way through. I'm responding to these channels that are asking to help with, 1,000 to 1,500 word reviews of what they need to do to get their stuff in check. man, hit me at roadkillcustoms@gmail.com. Just say, hey, check out my channel, part of the No Name 500. I will print it, which I'm an old school guy. Some of you guys would just tag it in your Gmail. Me, I'm going to print it. I like the paper, man. I can feel it, but you're welcome to do that. Any of the No Name Nationals contenders, whether you were in the 500 or not, man, I'll help you up as best I can. Understand I'm going to help the 500 people first because I'm sponsoring that event and it's important to me. But not going to turn any of you away. Dizzy Izzy got to go. Sorry to see you go, but man, keep on trucking out there, brother. Man, keep your videos succinct, my friend. Also, you're a good candidate for one of the guys that can combine some of the videos you've done in the past and wrap them up into something that tells a little bit more of a story. That would be my finest advice for you, Mr. Dizzy Izzy.
So I see Slantfish 65 SD. I would love to be on the way to the No Name Nationals.
And you can be, my friend.
Say, aren't you on the way now?
Are they registered? Do you recognize?
I don't recognize that channel name as registered yet. But what I've suggested, I've had a few people email me in the last couple of days, and I'm getting common questions about it. What I would say is two things. One, you really need to get registered, because at this point we have so many people to keep up with that we are certainly giving priority to those who have registered over those who say they might, right? And then second, you really need to, if you don't have your subscriber number turned on publicly where people can see it, it's a big help to you right now to do that so that people can see your subscribers go up and get invested in your quest. And we're doing all we can do to help these guys.
Is there any truth to, is there a limit to the number of registrants that you may have?
Not yet. I can tell you this. If we were to just distribute all first come, first serve, the paved parking would be full at Jeffers. So we're not going to do that because some people don't need 100-foot paved 12.5-foot space for a rig, right? So we're certainly going to put the guy with a toter home on pavement before the guy who doesn't need that. But no, as of right now, we don't have to put a cap, but as registrations come in and as we start filling up logistically, we may have to.
Right on. Looking at the comments here, what else we got? Mopar Man 1978 says he did notice when he typed slant 6 into Google search, it pop stuff, and there you go. Yeah. And that's very simply because you had slant 6, my guess, in your either title or description, and demonstrates what we're talking about here. You gotta tell YouTube what your stuff is about. Otherwise, it's the ice cream shop with no ice cream cones on the front of the store. Everybody's gonna walk right by. You put a strawberry ice cream cone and a vanilla ice cream cone and a chocolate ice cream cone picture on the front, people are going to start walking through your door. And people walking through your door at the ice cream shop is the equivalent to them clicking on your video.
Now you mentioned slant 6. I've seen a lot of videos that have the slang, the slant slash and the number 6. I recognize that slang, but YouTube doesn't. And I've also seen just the word slant is slang for slant 6 in the title. Yes, I know when I see it, but slant could be so many things. The word slant 6.
Hey, so, one of the things I've absolutely noticed with some of the younger No Name National participants is they'll use current slang. If they want to say before, they say capital B4.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that the automotive audience, the people that are on YouTube, the people that are your most best potential subscribers are between 45 and 65 years old. And they don't want to see that stuff.
No.
They don't understand it. They don't want to have to try to interpret it.
No.
And just take the time to put out decent, solid titles and decent, solid descriptions. Again, it doesn't have to necessarily be a soliloquy or an encyclopedia, but remember who your audience is. The automotive audience, the biggest part of it is 45 to 65 years old across the board. That's Chevy, Ford, Mopar, drag racing, stock car, whatever it's an older crowd. It just, I can't explain to you why the 25 to 45 range isn't as strong, but it just very simply isn't. And understand that. Turlos. The Turlos are registered. Good people.
Yes. Turlo's Garage, Andy Turlo is in.
Fantastic. 19 to 30 over a couple of days is, man, that's respectable. And when you're doing all of the right things, it's absolutely doable. We John's sign, check it behind him, 138 days. I mean, that's a very reasonable amount of time.
Gonna go quick.
Some of these channels, when they're doing the things that need to be done very simply, some have grown surprisingly quickly. It's super, super doable. Pay attention to the content quality that you're putting out. They're Peckerwood Customs, Slant
Exactly.
6. Here, the thing is, John's point was very few people are going to type if they're actually interested in Slant 6 performance, for example, or modifications or rebuild or whatever. They're not going to type it into YouTube search that way. They're going to type it into Slant 6.
That's the kind of thing that might be cute to have on a t-shirt to make people wonder what it is. That's a whole different thing.
Exactly.
Because when someone sees it on your t-shirt, you're there in person with them. And that's a style thing, completely different than YouTube and using searches and what words are important and so forth. Completely different thing.
The other thing to remember is I talk a lot about the text, the titles, the descriptions, and that kind of stuff. And that deals primarily with YouTube search. The other side of the game is YouTube recommendations. And what really comes into play there is every video that a particular potential viewer has watched before. And what you need to do is setting yourself up for the next video that person's going to watch.
Yeah.
If they've watched a Slant 6 video already, make sure you've got Slant 6 in your title. Make sure you've got Slant 6 and alternately later, a sentence or two later, refer to it as straight 6 or inline 6. The various variations, because what you run the risk of is popping up in the recommendations and getting a view. And if your video's any decent, getting a subscriber. That's how it works. Slantfitch, gotta go. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here, honestly. Hopefully we helped you out a little bit. No doubt. Mopar Man 1978. We're glad you said it because I sometimes I hate busting people's chops, but slang on the YouTube channels, it does. It looks unprofessional and it looks sloppy. And the unprofessional part with the audience, again, the 45 to 65, if you look like a slacker, they don't want to hear from you, man. They don't want to hear from you. If you are a slacker, don't type that way, and you may still get the views and get the subs. But that lazy, not proper punctuation, proper capitalization, and that kind of stuff, spelling things correctly. The number of typos I've seen in titles that are killing you. tons of them.
That's a good way to put that. It looks like a slacker. In that age, 45 to 65, a slacker is one of the worst things you can be.
It sure is. I need to hit the latrine. John, I need 90 seconds. Can you come
man.
right on?
We won't allow a mutiny while Buzz is indisposed. I like that, Andy. Think of the thumbnail as a magazine cover and the description as a headline for the article. Yeah, so true. And you can look at your videos, like your Boss 429 video that really took off. I mean, what you're saying is exactly right. Yeah, Johnny Mopar mentions adding the variations. I mean, so I'm not going to get out of my wheelhouse at all. This is definitely Buzz's wheelhouse, but I'll say this. 225 CU, could it be 225 CI? Could it be 225 CID? There are so many ways of abbreviating cubic inches. I wouldn't want to try to guess. And that's the thing, Mopar Man 1978. That's all cool, but you're already marketing to the people that would have watched it anyway. I think those are more things that, in my opinion, you probably would want to have in your thumbnail than in your title. But that's a good question for Buzz. Now, Andy hits this right. Unity Motorsports Garage, he hits it right. He knows exactly how to throw the bait out with the thumbnail and the title to get it pushed out. Andy does it right, and his subscriber numbers reflect that.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Andy's a good example of a channel to look to see what he does and how it works, actually.
And that's something else to keep in mind. Paying attention to what the rest of your, if you look in the analytics, there's a section that shows other videos your audience are watching and other channels your videos are watching. That's how you get into the recommendations. People want to see more of the same stuff, and that's the long and short of it. Johnny Mopar doesn't help. It actually does help. Generally speaking, like the /6 isn't going to get you very far, but slant 6 and 225 cubic inches and 225, generally speaking, it's not going to be CU, it's going to be CI. But yes, those variations will get you mileage. It's just like Chevy and Chevrolet. If for the sake of keeping your letters down in the title, you use Chevy. And in your, 1965 Chevrolet Impala, for example, or Chevy Impala in the title, refer to it as a 1965 or even the quote 65 Chevrolet Impala. And another way, even if you can, in the description, the more times you repeat those terms, you don't want to be spammy. But again, if we're talking about an example like a 1965 Chevrolet Impala, if that is in your title, if that is in your description, and Chevy and Chevrolet is found between the two, what that starts to equal is what they call relevance. YouTube machine becomes sure that, okay, this guy's talking about a Chevy Impala. There's no doubt about it. And if somebody in the past has watched a video about either a Chevrolet Impala or a Chevy Impala, 1965 or 65, we need to show them this particular video because they've taken the time. They've taken the time, and that's the key. They've taken the time to give a good quality title and a good quality description. You got 100 characters in the title. You got 5,000 characters in the description. The interesting thing about the description, you can put whatever you want in the description. Anything. Truly. You can be spammy and, pimp sponsors and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But the first 2 or 3 sentences, the first roughly 150 characters that shows up before the show more link, that's the magic. That's where you want to concentrate on. Even if you feel like, well, golly, it feels like my description is almost repeating my title to a point, that's a good thing. It actually is, because again, that leads you towards relevance, I should say.
For whatever it's worth, when I'm producing video and I'm on camera, I pretend like I'm talking to my friends who watch every video. But when I'm making my title, I'm thinking I'm making a title to some guy in Bangladesh that's never heard of me. It's
That's
exactly
a great way. That's a great way to put it. It really is. Mongrel's Garage has just joined us.
What's up, Mongrel?
And there's some good examples from Mopar Man. Slant 6, Buzzin' Half Dozen, Half a Hemi, Leaning Tower of Power. Generally speaking, people are going to be relatively straightforward, but yeah, mixing those kind of terms up in your description, be as succinct as you can in the title, and don't be bad. You got 100 characters in the title. Use it. There's so many videos out there that it's like May 7th, 2022 update.
Right.
Nobody's gonna watch it.
No.
Nobody's gonna watch it.
I see that all the time. Drives me crazy.
Maybe some of your current subscribers will get that popped and they'll be curious about what you got going on, but it's not going to grow your channel at all.
Don't forget, the very first content creator workshop we ever did was inspired by Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. His title said something like Cornet number 43. The guy had a fireball engulf the underside of the car on startup.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the thumbnail and it wasn't in the description. Like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, that was gold. That was free. It was 100 free subs just right through his fingers. I'm like, we can't have this again. That's what actually inspired the content creator workshop.
That's fantastic. I love that story. Yeah, and I've seen that fireball, and
yes,
that's the kind of stuff people absolutely
and Kim from Tall Garage. Kim from Tall Garage says when he heard that, he's never forgotten it. He's like, that was the example. If you have fire in a video, it needs to be in the thumbnail. If you have something like that happen, it needs to be in the title.
Exactly.
If you're going to have a fireball in the video you didn't plan for, make it right at the beginning and then show people how you got the fireball.
Exactly. And if you don't get a fireball, as far as thumbnails go, show your end result, show your product, and then use text that gets people to wonder how you got there. If you're fixing something, show it repaired. If you're painting something, show it painted. If you're polishing something, show it polished.
Johnny Mopar got a good question. Yeah.
Opinion on shorts. Shorts are awesome. Shorts will get you a bunch of views. Here's the key on shorts. A, they must be, to be a legitimate short and get all of the love, they've got to be in vertical format. Shot from a cell phone, and in most cases they've got, YouTube's getting smarter. Exactly. YouTube's
not this, which is what way we do our videos, but that.
And that is the big difference. If you're, doing a short, make sure it is vertical, and make sure you tag shorts one way or another. You can do it in the video tags. You can tag hashtag shorts in the title, and it'll pick it up. They're pushing those videos, good, bad, or indifferent videos. They're pushing them. It's the TikTok battle. But if you're not putting out a short, avoid shooting it vertical. Make sure if you're doing it with a cell phone, totally viable, man. There are some fantastic channels out there that are doing really well, that are doing it with nothing other than a cell phone. But for your normal videos, make sure you're orienting it horizontal.
Shorts are like a bumper sticker for your channel. And the thing is can you get that bumper sticker on a back road or can you get it on an interstate? So
Exactly.
I've done a handful of shorts, and sometimes they just wind up on a back road, and sometimes they wind up on the interstate, and they get thousands of views for something ridiculous, like a Cousin Eddie short or something. Or I did a short where I was jump starting a car off of a loose battery, then a charger on that battery, and then a cord to the wall. And that one right there got a bunch too. So sometimes the bumper sticker winds up in front of a huge audience and sometimes nobody sees it, but at least you don't have a ton of time tied up in producing those things.
Exactly. Heaven Mopar asks, hey guys, hi Buzz. Should I start another channel to show non-related car videos? That's arguable. Heaven Mopars, I think in your case, starting a new channel, remember what you've gone to get through with your current channel. If you believe in your heart you've got enough content to drive another channel, go for it. Otherwise, I would have to assume that a lot of the automotive folks that you've attracted are ruralish, and they may have interest in that kind of stuff also. You know, before you start another channel, I think what I'd do, I'd probably post some of those things, post them to a particular playlist and see how they do. If they do good, hang with it. If they don't, down the line, arguably start another channel. But remember, you start another channel, you've doubled your work, my friend.
As of 2 days ago, Heaven's Mopar is 146 subs away from 500. And I think I'd want to put all my effort into that channel to get it there.
No doubt. And he's done some really cool stuff. I was so curious. And he did the molasses soak of his dash.
By the way, and I send this to Buzz every couple of days, every time I update it, I'll show it here. This is a declassified list. This is the No Name 500 list. I keep it on my phone and update it every couple of days. And you can see how it's shaping up. In fact, I would just put this up and post it. It's not classified at all. But you can see how everybody ranks one to another all in one place.
Right on.
So Heaven's Mopars, you are in 7th place right now.
You'll make it, brother man. You'll make it.
You're gonna make it.
Think good thoughts. And Heavens, until you make the 500, I think I just keep with the channel you got. Make a playlist, call it, other stuff or something, but trying to grow two at the same time when you're trying to make it to 500 may or may not be the best angle. How do you come up with a good title? That's a great question. But I think to me that the answer to that is relatively simple. What is it that you're working on and what is it that you're doing? You are putting a temperature gauge in a 1965 Chevy, whatever it is. And, get the other particular buzzwords that work well in the automotive realm, how to and DIY and things of that nature. If you're producing a video that is how to in nature and you're actually giving some instruction, don't be bashful about using how to and DIY. Otherwise, it's just making sure you're getting the keywords in there. Have I done a review on your channel, Turlos? I don't think I have. I've done so freaking many, I can't remember actually. But Turlos, I'll tell you what, it's roadkillcustoms@gmail.com. If you got a video that you're putting out there and you're not sure, post it as unlisted. Let me watch it and I will give you a title, and that goes out for any of the No Name Nationals folks. If you're not sure about your title and your description before you send it public, and that's the key, before you send it public. Once you send it public, it'll if you change it after the fact, it'll take a while for the machine to come back and reevaluate it. But any of you guys that are unsure about a title or description, publish it as unlisted. Send me the link. Tell me it's urgent. I will respect that, and I will jump on it, man. I work 12 hours a day, 4 days a week. The other 3 days a week, I work 16 hours a day. So, again, these no name national contenders, man, I am genuinely interested in helping you out. So, if you're wondering about a title, wondering about a description, man, I'll watch your video and I'll shoot you back a title and I'll shoot you back a description that is based on everything I'm talking about. Using good, solid keywords that are important within the automotive realm, and that are completely apply to the video that you're putting out.
You know what this reminds me of, the title thing? Some people here, they know I'm a real estate broker by career for 20 years now. And I remember we would do cards to try to market to sellers. And I would tell agents, anytime a card wasn't working, I say, the purpose of the card is to make the phone ring. Every word on that card, the purpose is to make the phone ring. And your title with YouTube is the same way. When you make your title, every word of that title is to make YouTube suggest it to the right people.
Exactly.
You design that title so specifically. What kind of transmission blew up? What year was it in? Anything that is, every word is one of your keys to get that thing out the door to success. So take advantage of crafting the best possible title with that in mind.
On a less serious note, NSB is wondering, how brave is Wilbur?
Oh, well, that's a serious question. All right. I've seen the rickshaw. I think Dallas wants plausible deniability that there's a rickshaw on the back of their 68 Dart. Those guys have got it going on. That's a great channel.
Unity Motorsports says, don't be scared to try different things with your videos. Do many types of videos. You'll find what your viewers want to see. And that's absolutely correct. YouTube doesn't, they don't shun any, again, unless you're, violating some of the terms, if it's just another video, they're not putting anything, they don't care. Their actual words, I've got them printed out. This is from YouTube. This is directly from YouTube. Our system has no opinion about the type of video you make and doesn't favor any particular format. Videos are ranked based on performance and viewer personalization, including their watch and search history. Take that to heart. Anybody, if you're talking about a rickshaw, if you want somebody that has watched a rickshaw video already, make gosh darn sure you've got rickshaw in your title and rickshaw in your description. That's how it works.
And spell it right.
And
because I've these obscure words that we don't use often, it's very easy to misspell them.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Typos will get you nowhere. What else we got going on in the comments here? Turlo says he's at 1,230 subs. He'd rather help the smaller channels under 500. Right on.
We have a great climate of channels wanting to help one another right now. I think it's great.
Speaking of channels, there you go. There you go. Speaking of channels wanting to help other channels, Turlos, here's one for you. You're over 1,000 subscribers. Here's something you can do. YouTube, within the last 10 days, has released something called live redirect. If you do a live and you garner a relatively decent audience, you can redirect that audience at the end to a smaller channel's live or premiere. Um, at the end of this, I've not done it, but come back and check the description of this live, and I'll post a link to the actual YouTube instructions to do that. But that is something that's really, really big right now. Uh, I mentioned it on another live. I don't recall when or where it was, but someone on the quote unquote inside mentioned that the No Name Nationals community and the number of lives that are occurring within this community accelerated this feature release.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Again, is that actually true? I don't know, but let's assume that it is.
If you look at the hashtag videos, I wouldn't doubt it at all.
I wouldn't doubt it either. But what that's telling you, you guys that are out there under 1,000 subscribers, go out there, check that No Name Nationals hashtag, find somebody that is related to you. If you're doing Mopar stuff and you're under 500, go find an over 1,000 Mopar channel that's registered and is posting content. Watch their stuff, send them a message and say, hey, next time you do a premiere or next time you do a live, can I saddle on your traffic and get a little bit of love? That is exactly what YouTube is setting you up for. It's called live redirect. Again, when this live is over, I'll be sure to post the link to the how to do that. But it's a super duper opportunity. I sound like Barney. Super duper.
Yeah, when I try to do lives, one thing that might help you guys, a lot of new channels, when you don't have a following yet, like you have a few hundred subs, if you get 5 or 7, that's pretty normal. With all the attention this event has created and kind of centralized people's thinking and topics, right? I'm seeing new channels get 15, 20, 25, even 30 concurrent watchers on their lives, which was unheard of a year ago. But the things that would really help you is coordinate your lives.
Yeah.
If one live will dependably start on time and the other dependably wraps up to where you can really coordinate that, that will be your most powerful redirect.
That is correct.
And don't step on each other. If you can at all help it, don't step on each other. There's nothing worse than trying to split that. You can both have the same audience of 20 instead of both of you trying to get 10 apiece.
Exactly.
If you just work with one another.
Exactly.
And these TV news programs do it all the time. So pick your favorite network with whichever bias you like. You'll see one person's special, news channel show will be on, and then the next hour, and they'll have somebody overlap, and they coordinate those things so that they don't lose the audience. Exactly. You guys can do that with your lives.
Blake is absolutely correct here. Is you have to work with another channel and get their permission. The channel with 1,000 or more subscribers has to set it up, and the smaller channel, in order to receive the traffic, has to set it up also. But again, at the tail end of this live, I'll post a link to all the particulars directly from YouTube in the description of this video. It's a smoking opportunity, and it is designed specifically for exactly what we're doing here in the No Name Nationals community. I mean, it's a dream come true.
And people like Blake there with Bad Tree, he's the example of somebody good to work with on something like that, because they are reliable and they know how to do that to where it will benefit both of you.
Exactly. So reach out. Don't be bashful. Cousin Cleta says, my goal this year is to 5,000 subs. I have a lot of car shows and other events planned this year and have a bunch of collaboration videos coming out and more to make. Good man. All of those goals are wonderful. The collaboration videos are going to get you mileage. Um, if you're doing a shit ton of shows, get yourself a shit ton of cards with QR codes on them. Remember, the audience in this realm, 45 to 65, they love business cards. They want to stick them in their wallet or their shirt pocket and take them home, remember them, look at them, and then go visit your YouTube channel or your website. Um, they're inexpensive. Two-side business cards are really inexpensive. I've been buying PS Print. If you're wondering who I get mine from, PS Print. They're really inexpensive. You can get a color front and a black and white back with a QR code on it. So those that are savvy and use a smartphone and want to bloop real quick to your YouTube channel, great. Otherwise, put out a card that has your Turlo's Garage on it or Cousin Cletus Automotive on it, and a brief, swallowable number of words and sentences that tells them what they can expect. Again, 45 to 60. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I carry a cell phone all the time, but I'm always I'm. Have you got a business card? Excuse me. Does anyone here have a business card? That's what I want. I want a business card so I can stick it in my shirt pocket and put it in my wallet. And I do. I go through them, man. And I'm a total dork, man. I got a business card file I'm gonna stick it into.
Don't let anybody tell you the QR code can replace the business card, because there are people that hip, but I'm telling you, it will not replace it. You need cards.
You need the card. It's otherwise how are you gonna deliver the QR code to them? The other thing about the older, the 35/45 to 65 crowd is they may be able to do the QR code scan thing, but they may not be comfortable doing it in front of you. Man, I've been to SEMA. I've been to Autorama. I've helped automotive companies and part manufacturers deal with producing the products that they're putting out for consumers to consume at these shows. Business cards are still one of the number one things they're concerned about. Second is a decal that has the pertinent information on it. For example, if you're Cousin Cletus Automotive, it's and he recently changed his name. But if you've got a very searchable, for example, in my case, here's my card. It's Roadkill Customs, man. All you got to do is search Roadkill Customs on the web, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Pinterest. If you put Roadkill Customs in on any of those things, you're going to find me. And there's a QR code on the back, but they're super inexpensive. And remember who your audience is. You may be 25 or 30 years old and you're like, I don't want a business card, dude. Don't want that. Your audience does. That's and that attitude is a little bit along the lines of what we were talking about earlier, and I don't think I ever touched on it. Some of the comments in some of the past lives is, dude, no one looks at the description. You can't even see it on mobile. And both of those things are true. But guess who does see it? The YouTube machine. That is how you get found. That is how you get discovered. If you're posting a video with zero description, you might as well just go shoot yourself on the foot and watch yourself bleed, because that's the equivalent. You've got to give yourself a fighting chance to be seen. If you're exercise the 100 characters in the title, rewatch your own video. If you're not sure what to put in for a title, rewatch your own video. I'm going to open the hood and check out the starter, and then I'm going to rewire this, and I'm going to do that, and yada, yada, yada. That's your description based on what is actually in your video. Manage the expectations. Don't overstate things. The description is absolutely the best place to under promise and over deliver. But again, with a 45 to 65 crowd, you may think to yourself, dude, I never look at the description. The 45 to 65 crowd does. They want to know what they're getting into. We're old school, man. I do it. Before I hit subscribe, I'm going to the about page and I'm going to look at the description and see, is this actually worth my time?
Not that any of us can necessarily do what he does and on his level and with his budget. But Whistling Diesel, if you look at his channel, his titles to his videos, they're always exactly what he does. So there's no bait and switch. If he says, today I blow up a building, that's exactly what he's going to do in that video. So it really can be that simple. Put in your title exactly what you're going to do and deliver. If you can't find a title that's good enough, maybe your content isn't good enough to support the title you wish you could put.
Yeah. Another great example on the same playing field as Whistling Diesel is Vice Grip Garage.
Yeah.
Look at his titles. Look
Yes.
at the way that he uses capitalization and capitalizes the first letter in some words and fully capitalizes other terms. It is absolutely, he's got a gazillion. We all know who he is.
And he does what he says he's going to do in the title.
But exactly, there's no BS. There's no BS. He highlights all of the keywords. It's textbook perfection in terms of title execution. You can't beat it. I think Bad Tree Productions is talking about using both capitalization and full caps, and they should be. Those that I've done channel reviews on, I'll give them literally before and after. Here's, a random example of your titles, what they are, and I'll shoot back the afters, and that's, it's the will it start, will it run type of stuff. Needs to be in caps. Doesn't matter if it's, sat for 15 years. Yeah, it's the key stuff, the clickability.
I have a question for you, Buzz. It's something I'm curious about, and I wonder if you know anything about it. The more people comment on your videos, the more that helps your video.
That is correct.
Good comments, bad comments, any comments, right? Well, if I get these junk comments that are like bots and stuff, and it's just like, Russian gibberish, is it better to give that a thumbs down just to move it to the bottom to get rid of the clutter and move it to the bottom? Or will deleting it reduce my total number of comments? What would be the best strategy to do with those things?
That's tough. That's tough because in most cases, I deal with that a lot on Facebook simply because I've got a huge following, 450,000 subscribers. So, I mean, the trolls are aplenty.
I can imagine.
Generally speaking, YouTube and Facebook, Instagram as well, they can determine what is a bullshit / spammy comment. Deleting them or blocking them in most cases is not going to be harmful for your channel. In most cases, it's going to encourage more participation because when I don't delete them fast enough on my Facebook page, for example, trolls are awful. They're just the wonderful thing about trolls is once you've got them, you're doing well and it's successful. Nobody wants to see that crap though. I am going to do a little bit of research on deleting them versus blocking them versus whether it helps you in terms of I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that removing them is gonna serve you better in the long run.
So look at Frugal Armory down there, and I wonder if he could flesh that out a little bit. Taking YouTube advice from guys that get less traffic than Brian Cabral. That's rich.
Here's the deal, Frugal. My if you're talking about my own personal channel, it's well under 1,000.
Still more than twice the size of Cabral's.
It's undersized and underserved. The interesting thing in my case is I've worked as a side hustle doing corporate social media and internet development and social media consulting for 30 years. My clients include the NFL, the MTV, the United States Air Force, Hilton Hotels. I completely feel you. LOL. I'm not going to argue with you, dude. If you're looking at my channel, it is what it is. While I should have been growing that content on my own channel, I was using my internet skills to grow financially my hot rod shop. I ran a hot rod shop for 15 years. You know, you're taking YouTube advice from me, but YouTube is nothing more than social media. Go take a look at my Facebook page, which has 500,000 followers. The reason it has that is because Facebook worked for me. Facebook translated into click-throughs from Facebook to my website. YouTube did not. Instagram. I've got 3,000 followers on Instagram, but guess what? It translates into less than 1% click-throughs to my website. I'm not going to waste my freaking time there. That's the long and the short of it. Brian Cabral, by the way, I love Brian. He's highly entertaining. If somebody could market that guy right, he'd be a fascination in and all himself. The anger that guy puts out is it's a thing of beauty. Anyway, that's
Well, I noticed that there was a big discussion using Social Blade to malign Uncle Tony's Garage on Cabral's channel one time. And I know that for everybody I know personally, the stats on Social Blade do not always translate and usually aren't even close. They're always usually really low on monetization. Social Blade is much closer on views and such. But yeah, I would be really careful relying on that, because I know that for my channel and everybody I know who has a monetized channel, Social Blade is generally very low.
Hey, Frugal, here's something else. If what I'm telling you and what I'm talking about on this live, for example, if it doesn't make simple sense to you, you're in the wrong place. We're talking about, something as simple as if you put a video out there and you want YouTube to show it to somebody, you got to tell YouTube what it's about. And that's the long and the short of it. And that includes titles and descriptions. It's not like we're putting out some sort of, witch hazel voodoo shice here. Man, this is simple YouTube 101 stuff. But man, appreciate your comment. I appreciate you being here. AdSense, dude, that's how I make my living, brother. My website takes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of page views a month. Yes, I am an AdSense absolute guru. I sponsor channels to the tune of thousands and thousands of dollars on simple YouTube revenues. AdSense revenues is what I use to pay for my sponsorship for the No Name Nationals. So, I'm no newbie to this. I've been playing the internet game since the early 90s. And again, some of my clients, they manufacture the vehicle you drive, my friend. What else
Yeah, I
we
see a
got?
lot of guys chiming in on Social Blade, Bad Tree, Cletus, guys that have monetized channels. Social Blade is pretty good at compiling like watch stats, but they're always off significantly when it comes to revenue.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to know what's really important, put out good content. Put
Yes.
out good content. Give that content a decent title. Describe that content in a decent quality way. And if you got good stuff, you'll go places. If you look back at a couple of John mentioned Whistling Diesel, man, that's how he started. Granted, some of his stuff was, as viral as it could be, but he started out just like the rest of us.
He has a commitment to good content, at least content that's never clickbait. He does exactly what he says he's going to do. I think that's good advice for anybody on YouTube to do.
Yeah,
Do
thanks,
what you say
Mopar,
you're going to
man,
do.
giving us the actual stats. Bear Rose, super good friend. He says, I appreciate all you've done for us, Buzz, since I've since taken your advice, gotten over the stall and moving again. Thank you for that, man. Some of the feedback I've received from those that have actually implemented some of the things I'm talking about, and again, it's not wizardry. It's just describe your stuff. Give YouTube an opportunity to help your stuff be seen. That's all I'm really preaching here.
Hey,
But some have come back and they've done really well. I've never made a promise on how fast it will occur. But when you tell YouTube what you have, it gives them the ability to share it. Oh boy,
Frugal Army.
I welcome it.
Frugal Army. Are you Philip Serial? Is that one of your other channels? Yes. And by the way, yeah, you might make Cabral's list. That's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Artur is asking 500 subs won't get you monetized. What's the minimum? 500 subscribers won't get you monetized, but it will get you into the No Name Nationals.
That is correct. Yeah, to get monetized, you got to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, but Artur, you can't get to 1,000 if you can't get to 500 first.
Exactly.
If you get to 500, you're going to have a head of steam, and you'll get to 1,000. Believe me, it's much quicker going from 500 to 1,000 than 0 to 500.
Amen. The second 500, the first 100, tough. Beyond that, the first 500, and then the second 500 is a lot easier. Yeah. I'm sure that was a super successful channel for you. Hey, with all seriousness, what other specific questions have you guys got about your channels, about growing them, about titles, about descriptions, anything along those lines that we can possibly? John's here. I'm here. What can
I'm
we help
hanging
with?
out and having a good time. I saw this live, and Buzz invited me in, and I always learn stuff from Buzz and from you guys. So I'm just happy to be here.
Well, that's excellent.
Artur, what did you say? Oh, I thought it was even more than 1,000. Well, to be monetized, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months.
That is correct. Yeah. Amen, Cousin Cletus. Not trying to do anything other than help those out there that are new to this stuff. And there's a lot. The growing your channel, it's no small potatoes.
I can tell you the Roadkill Customs. I'm not just saying this because Buzz is here. I say it whether he's here or not. He has greatly enriched this No Name 500. It's become a class of its own, and I can foresee this No Name 500 being like a cultivator for good channels for years to come. We're going to look back probably to this first No Name 500 and see some rock stars that years from now came out of this No Name 500.
No doubt.
I can just see it, and Buzz is a big part of that.
Hey, Blake, I've got contacts and sample letters and everything you need. We've got it. We've shared contact information. I'll reach out to you. Anybody else that's interested and believes that they've got something that is sponsor worthy, I can help you. Yeah, there's a question, John.
So we had a meeting with the guy who's doing our signage here a couple of days ago. He's given us the size and formatting he needs. So we are well on our way to getting our first round of shirts printed, and they're going to be available for order online. We're going to do most of our shirt sales online and probably very little at the event. So if you want your No Name National shirt, you're going to be able to do that real soon.
Right
So
on.
we've met with him. We got everything scaled. We know what we need for sizes. The person doing the artwork is a fellow No Name Nationals participant. I'll leave it at that. You'll love what he does. Very, very soon though.
Fantastic.
And you'll recognize it. I don't want to spoil it because I have a feeling when people see it, they're going, "Oh man," they're going to know. They're going to know what they're looking at.
Yes, comments do weigh towards pertinence and what's the other term I'm looking for? Yes, the term will come to me. But yes, comments, generally speaking, do if the comments relate to the video and the video description and the video title, and all of that echoes things that are talked about, it absolutely serves that video well. There's no doubt about it. Relevance is the term I was reaching for. I said pertinence, I was thinking relevance. Yeah, no doubt there's a bunch out there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think we're going to have rock stars in years to come that come out of this No Name 500. Speak of the devil, Two Hacks is right here. He's certainly one of them.
No doubt. And remember, man, all recommendations are based on what people have already watched. And if you're wondering, if you're not sure, well, what do I need to put out to have a video that gets recommended a lot? Well, if you're Joe Mopar, go look at another popular Mopar channel and find out what they're putting out. And I'm not saying copy them necessarily, because you don't necessarily want to do that, but the subject matter is what's key. There you go. Mini fridge collaboration.
Yeah, no one can ever dock Blake for his creativity.
Mopar, man, that's tough to do on a smartphone, man. I mean, there's he's talking about doing catchy, flashy, colorful ad for your videos. I think he's probably talking thumbnails. He didn't mention thumbnails, but he's saying all he does is there's a lot of guys out there that are just doing it on a smartphone. There's tools out there for doing that stuff on a smartphone. There's templates to help you get cool text superimposed over a screen cap of the video. In a perfect world, yeah, a laptop's going to be better for that. People will argue that there's channels out there that have solely done this stuff with an iPhone or an Android phone, and that's the only tool they've used, possibly adding a tripod into it. And some of them have done amazingly well. I'm not that guy. I'm old school. I need a keyboard and a mouse and, all of that stuff. But Mopar man, we've chatted, and I am knee deep into looking at your channel, by the way. So you're going to hear from me here relatively quickly. You're 2 sheets down, brother. You're 2 sheets down in the stack as far as the ones that I'm again concentrating on. Let's see what else we got coming in here. Mr. Fiddler, welcome. Manscaping.
I don't get to choose the ads that come up in my videos.
Yeah. It's when monetized. Man, the reason the Manscaping ads are coming up is because they know in the automotive realm, generally speaking, it's 90 plus, well into the high 90s male.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep your ladies happy, it's annoying. There's a great meme out there. It's something like, when your product interrupts my video in the middle, it makes me hate your product. Man, it's what makes the whole world go round. Advertising, get used to it. It's, if you don't like it, get YouTube Premium, and the content creators still get paid a fair rate. Man, I feel you. You also got to understand, I mean, other than the consulting work I do, which is the bulk of my income, the balance, which is about 45% of it, is it's ads, man. That's how I make my living. It's pennies at a time.
As far as ads go, we can select as content creators. We have a little bit of latitude what kind of ads, at least where in the video. Like, for instance, I allow all the ads except banner ads because I don't like a banner covering up part of my content.
Yeah, I feel you.
Some people may say banner ads aren't as invasive, and maybe their content they aren't. So it all depends on what you're doing, how you're doing it. If your channel is more based on like lives and things like that, maybe the banner ads don't matter as much, but even on replay, but I turn them off. Everybody does what they want to do in that regard, but we can't choose. We cannot waive having ads to beginning or end.
Yeah.
We can't opt out of that.
Frugal's back. Frugal. He's asking to touch on the benefits of backlinking on forums, Facebook, and which are the best to get the word out. And does always creating a mirror website for your YouTube channel help? Backlinking on forums, Facebook, and any of the social media platforms, whether it be Twitter, Pinterest. Pinterest, by the way, if you guys are ignoring Pinterest, Pinterest can post your thumbnail to Pinterest. By the way, if you're posting your thumbnail to Pinterest, do it without the text, just a graphic, but put the link in as your YouTube link. You can do quite well. Twitter, it doesn't do all that much. I post every post I make on my website, for example, I post it to Twitter. I post it to all of the social media platforms, because when Google does its crawling, each of those social media platforms is a high-ranking domain, and when they see your link on that domain, it gives you an arguable amount of love. Facebook works particularly well, not necessarily driving to YouTube, but when you post a YouTube video URL on YouTube, generally speaking, they're gonna poo-poo it a little bit simply because they know they're gonna lose the visitor. They're going from Facebook to YouTube, and the way to post your stuff to YouTube on Facebook is post the same video on Facebook with a trailer at the end of that video added on saying, and hit my YouTube channel, etc., etc. But just post it as a video with a link, kind of thing. I think that kind of covers that.
Out your fiddler. What he's talking about is these embedded placement. Like, for instance, where somebody, let's say, for example, if Coca-Cola was sponsoring them, they would open up a Coca-Cola and set on the hood of the car while they're talking. Kind of like,
I mean, that's class. That's
Yeah.
classic sponsorship and influencer stuff.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Is it in that last?
Yeah, that's what he mentions.
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, you got to reach out to. I mean, every one of the big companies out there has the influencer contact. The ones in the automotive industry, I can probably help you with. I've already worked with them in most cases. I putting in a good word for you, generally speaking, doesn't work, but I can share the share contact information with you.
I like this. Turlo's Garage is saying that he comes out to about $35 a month. Yeah, and on Social Blade, they're probably $3 a month. So Turlo, see what you get on Social Blade. It's not going to be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that. I'll look and see. Because I already know what it's going to be.
Right on. Online real-time study.
All right, quick search. I'm going to have to go to Social Blade first because it won't search that way, but that's okay. There we go. We want to see what Turlo's Garage. Get it all spelled right. Turlo's Garage, according to Social Blade, you got a C+ ranking, which is the same as me. Don't worry, you're in good company. Yeah, they have you at $2 to $31. So they've expanded the range, but they have you between $2 and $31.
And you're taking yourself out to a drive-in once a month.
Exactly. So that's that's an even bigger range than a place like Zillow.
Yeah, Mr. Fiddler is talking again he's talking about influencer stuff. And you got to have, before you get there, unless you've got some really unique jive going on that's relatively viral, you got to have some traffic to get that. The only exception to that rule, exception to that rule that I've seen recently is Dalton Summit at Pole Barn Garage. He picked up Holly at, I don't recall what the actual subscribers he had at the time were, but I picked up Dalton as a sponsor or as a sponsorship channel before Holly did, because I saw that holy goat and I knew it was going to be.
I knew Dalton was a rock star as soon as I saw his channel.
No doubt about it.
He has something that you just can't teach or give or buy.
Yeah, if you've got that, it's the exception. It is the exception. And I mean, he's the last 28 days, he's well over 10,000 subscribers and growth. I mean, it's amazing.
He's a star, but he knows how to build the things around his ideas. Because it really takes both. There are people who have channels that are just based on show and tell, who have no personal star power, and they can get so many subs, but it's all just built on the stuff they have. Then you have people who have really good ideas, but they need more stuff. But if you have both and you can build the stuff around your ideas, man, the sky's the limit for people like that. And Dalton's one of them.
No doubt. No doubt. He's a lot of fun to watch. And Just wait. His road runner stuff is coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Turlo says he was trying to up quality, but it hasn't helped much. I'm going back to quantity. Remember, YouTube doesn't give that much of a. YouTube isn't judging you necessarily on content quality. Your viewers are, and their interaction with your videos is how long are they watching it? Are, if you've got a 5-minute video, are they bailing out at minute 1, minute 3, minute 4, minute 5? The longer they watch, clearly to YouTube, the better your stuff is. Um, Quality is absolutely subjective, and not evaluatable by YouTube's systems. That's why they measure it by watch time and things of that nature. Watch times, likes, dislikes, etc.
People vote with their watch time.
Puddins is killing it, and if you haven't seen Puddins, I don't recall the title of the video, but it was he put out a video about growing your YouTube stuff, how he did it, kind of thing. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it because it's really excellent. It's Puddin, love him or hate him. But what he's putting out there information wise is really fantastic. Personally, I'm a fan of Puddin. I don't watch him all that often because I'm watching all the no-name nationals guys and trying to give him full 100% watch time, give him a like, give him a content, that kind of thing. But yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with Puddin. Again, check his. It's roughly 2 months old, maybe 2.5 months ago. He put out a video about growing your channel and the falsehoods and whatnot, and talks about collaborations and what it gets you and what it doesn't get you. And it's plain talk, in Puddin in Puddin's way, if you know what I mean. But the information he puts out is freaking fantastic.
This might be a good place just to remind you guys as content creators in the chat here and viewers alike, remind your favorite channels, your big channels, ask them, hey, what are you planning to bring to the no-name nationals? Because coming from me, I mean, of course, the event promoter, but coming from you guys, it means a lot more. I'd rather have 20 of the regular viewers ask them that than me.
No doubt. Oh, there's no doubt Puddin's doing well. Mortsky does fantastic.
Mortsky, wow.
It's easy to mention the ones that are doing really, really well. And what you need to do, if you're curious about what you could do to do well, follow these channels, watch them, study what they're doing, look at their titles, look at their descriptions. Some of them, the other thing you need to keep in mind is some of these channels that have developed a giant following, some of them have in fact become lazy, meaning their descriptions aren't what they should be because they've got a big enough audience to still produce a pretty decent income for them. Had they continued on with some of the things that got them to where they are, I would argue they'd be doing better. There's a good friend. Wild Rose, how you doing, brother man?
Wild Rose. Loving those videos you did on those trailers today. That was interesting stuff.
All right, here we go. This guy's just going to beat us up all night. We're going to... One guy does great videos, but he got 10 times the views of any previous when he put his cute girlfriend in the little thumbnail. Hey, come on, man. Clickability, dude. Sex sells. That ain't rocket science, for Christ's sake. I mean, you don't got to be an engineer to understand that. Anytime you put a decent-looking female in a thumbnail in the automotive industry, which is 99% male, 45 to 65, clickability. Man, everybody wants to see a hot chick, and that's all there is to it. You can't argue that. Did you say anything else other than even though? Yeah, dude, it's clickbait, bro. That is classic clickbait. Uh, it works. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. That guy that posted that thumbnail with a 6-minute video, for example, with no hot chick in it, is getting crappy stats because people are forwarding through the video, skip, 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 looking for the tits, and they ain't getting it, and they're bailing out, and he's going down the tubes. Click-through rate only will get you through so far. It's the duration and the watchability that is really where it's at. Clickbait thumbnails it does not serve you well. The better than a fine looking rack, put your finished work. If you're painting something, show the finished painted product. If you're repairing something or reshaping something, put the final work in there. Generally speaking, in the automotive industry, people are going to want to, when they see something that you're talking about that you're doing, they're going to want to see how you got to that product. Put your product in the thumbnail and make it sexy in a matter of speaking. Decent lighting, let people see what you've done and let them know where you've started. This piece of shit coming out of the jungle turns into a sparkly diamond, kind of stuff. And of course, the sparkly diamond is in the thumbnail. But yeah, the hot chicks and racks are classic clickbait. Have a nice day.
Buzz, it wouldn't be alive unless we mentioned that Levi has 325 subs. Now I'm just thinking every live needs that update.
Right on. True that. If any of us had a decent rack, we'd do better. That's funny.
Wild Rose, yes, 138 days is behind us because it is 12:11 here in the East. So we're burning day 137 right now.
It's coming up. Coming up.
Oh, by the way, Buzz, if you haven't seen that, the Bad Tree guys actually did play chess while going down the drag strip in a van.
That is fantastical. I did not see that, but I'm gonna take my pencil, my actual pencil, and jot that down to check out.
You really want to see? And actually, if you watch, I think they accidentally made a completely legal and legit move on the chessboard. So it's worth watching. It's a lot of fun.
I love that. I love that.
I wouldn't say so, Frugal Army. He says clickbait only works when the channel is monetized. I think clickbait works regardless.
Clickbait works regardless, but clickbait works against you because it's disappointment. It'll never lead to a subscriber. Yeah, I have an example here of a no-name Nationals guy, but I'm going to spare him tonight. He did this is not clickbait, and it was total freaking clickbait. And yeah, we're not going to go there. But yeah, it's clickbait doesn't get you anywhere. You get the click, but the click isn't the matter. The subscribe is the matter. Generally speaking, a clickbait click will get you a very short view. And in most cases, that short view where they realize, okay, I'm not going to see a pair of Hooters right now. They're going to click away, and it's going to harm you more than the click itself, if that makes sense. Because again, it's going to lead to low view duration. All right. He's got a plan to get subs. Holy Christ. Pay attention, people. But I want to keep my privacy. Yeah. You gotta, yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Is that one of our no-name 500 contenders there, Buzz?
Apparently not. Hold on. Let me see if I can nuke this. We got some severe trollage. Yes. Success.
Fun.
All right. Watch hours are key. Exactly. Watch hours are tough to get, says NSB. There's no doubt. You got to have 4,000 before you get there. And it is. It's no small task.
Scott Heavens Mopar's there makes a good point. Your reputation takes years to build and seconds to destroy.
Exactly. There's truth there for sure. There's truth there for sure.
Turlo said that was his sponsor coming into the chat. Are you going to have it on the side of your car? Get that on the side of your car. Look great on the starting line. I don't want to know what they pay you with.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, exactly. No doubt. Can I? Let's see.
Turlo has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Indeed. So glad you're registered. So glad you're coming.
No doubt. So, John, anything? What do we got coming up? We got a John in Dallas coming up next Friday.
Yep, this upcoming Friday. Yep, we measured. We spent about 4 hours walking the facility, measuring things, even the sides of the buildings, trying to logistically get this laid out. We're going to share our findings with you guys on that.
Oh, fantastic.
We had a good meeting with the guys to do the signage. So some good, exciting stuff coming from that. So we got a pretty good update this time. And then, of course, there's always stuff in the works. But once it's final, we share with you guys. But we're in high gear. We're in high gear working on the details of this thing. It's getting exciting. It's going to be exciting next 30 days.
Right on. Looking forward to it. So next Friday, that's 7 p.m., correct?
At 7 Central, 8 Eastern.
Right on.
Yep.
We'll all be there. Everyone here in the chat should be there as well. Man, we're going on quite a bit of time here, 2.5 hours. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Any final comments, questions for myself or John? Welcome. Come on, bring it on, and we'll wrap this up shortly.
I just want to mention while you guys are posting your last questions, I appreciate you doing this, Buzz. I was wrapping up a couple things, working on some stuff, and saw you go live, and I thought, well, that's cool. So Buzz does these things, and in addition to co-hosting our content creator workshops we do monthly, Buzz does these little sessions in between, and this can really get you guys in shape.
I'm doing the best I can.
Buzz is great.
It's the amount of time that's taken up by doing the evals and whatnot. Man, I overcommitted without a doubt, but I committed and I'm in.
I tell you what, Dallas and I we've really wanted to work with people who are philosophically aligned to what we want to do with this event. You know, I mean, everybody involved with it, even the vendors and everybody are people who are our kind of people. Who are hot rodders at heart. This is what we do. This is who we are. And Buzz is one of those. We just couldn't find a better fit to work with this No Name 500 class especially.
Well, thank you so much for saying that, John.
Hey, it's true. I mean, we've talked to a lot of people, and we really are most interested in working with the people who truly personally care about this event. It shows with passion, and it does with Buzz.
Kind of like I can't remember the name of the nut buster that was along here earlier, but And Mr. Fiddler or Mrs. Fiddler, whoever that might be, and no offense, but man, uh, I'm no corporate. We I was on a live, and I said, "Hey man, let me help pimp your channel." And Rob Z from Jeg says, "Oh, you're Mr. Corporate, I can hear.
Mr.
Using the term
Corporate.
pimp." And I'm not that. I'm a hot rod guy. My heart is in building shit and making it go fast. Um, I'm just in a position where, hey, my shop was shut down because my mom got ill, and I couldn't open back up because of the pandemic. And now I'm in a situation where I can sponsor and help others. Again, kind of in the spirit of my old man, who's since passed away. But man, he set a great example of using your skills to help some of these folks out that need it, and that's where I'm at. So
I can
I'm pleased. I'm pleased as punch to be the sponsor for the No Name 500 and helping these guys out. If you're bashful, man, push that bashful aside and shoot me an email. Hit my website. Let me help you out as best I can. If you're wondering if it's worthwhile, I'll help demonstrate that it's worthwhile. Those that have actually, John sent me an email one time about, you can lead a horse to water. Those that have chosen to drink have responded with, "Holy cow, dude!"
Yeah.
I can really see it. I can see it and I can measure it. So do what
You
you
know,
want to do, man.
Dallas and I are you could fill libraries with stuff that we don't know, but we do know this. We want to work with the people who are legit and they're real. And Buzz is for real. He's the real deal. He lives what he says and what he's telling you guys. He lives that. And so do Dallas and I. We don't necessarily claim to be anything, big or bad, but we are what we are. And we are what we say we are. And we're real hot rodders and we build our stuff just like you guys do. That has served this event extremely well. So,
Amen.
if you want people who are legit in what they're telling you, then we'll tell you what we know, and we'll say if we don't know it, we'll tell you we don't know it. But I think we've definitely got the right strategic person with Buzz to work with you guys, especially trying to get your subs. So we'll do anything we can do to help you.
Amen. And how? Come back, check out. I'll update some links in the description of this video after I pop it live or finish it up. A link to get more information about help direct from me. And don't be bashful. If you want some help from me, I will spend the time. I've got a deep stack of channels I've got to help, but I'm getting to them. Generally speaking, it's taken me about 3 to 5 days to get to those channels. But I'm telling you, I'm looking at everything you got going on and telling you exactly what I believe you got to do. And none of it's rocket science. None of it's voodoo. It's just giving your stuff good quality information to make it discoverable for YouTube.
One other thing I'll throw out there is, we all have different ways we can help and different strengths and things like that. And Buzz has his niche, with using the internet for placement and things like that. That's his mastery. One thing I can do is mobilize a pretty good audience. And when you guys, the No Name 500 guys, I'm watching what you're doing. And the ones of you who are helping yourselves, those are the ones who I'm inviting, just for a sporadic, hey man, let's go live and get you over 500 right now. Right? So
Amen.
I'm helping the ones of you who are helping yourselves. When you guys do a cool video that I think really needs to be shared for whatever reason, I put it out, it's going to get you a few subs. When you guys get really close, we'll have kind of a little party together. I've done that for a lot of these guys, and we get them over the top together, right?
Some of them have been super fun too.
Yeah, and so I'm going to help you guys the way I can help you too. So we're all in it to help you in different ways. Take advantage of all of it.
Take advantage of it. Keep being involved in these lives that the No Name community is, or the No Name Nationals community is producing. StreamYard is a wonderful thing. If you've not checked it out, check it out yourself.
And it's free.
It is. It's free. You can set it up today and get yourself involved with your own live. Help others. Some of those channels, Mike's Mischief, for example, on Monday nights reviews channels that are under 500 yet registered for the No Name 500s. Buck Does It is another channel that's under 500, but he too has picked up the StreamYard reviewing channels, and all they're doing is getting these channels that are under 500 more exposure from different channels. And man, you can't get you can't dispute that stuff. Any last? I'm taking a quick look at the last comments we got here. I need to add some mods.
Thanks a bunch for inviting me in, Buzz. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed getting to hang out with these guys.
My pleasure. It's a great group of guys. I'm so looking forward to Sykeston, and yeah,
I'm looking forward to meeting these guys. It's going to be great.
No doubt. Bad Tree puts in the old fake it till you make it. Hey, man, you can't argue with that. I mean, that's always pretty solid advice. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt, tattoos, and scars. Yeah, man, whatever works. All right, guys. Hey, John, thank you so much for joining.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll do this again, I'm sure. And I know you and John have got an update for the No Name Nationals this Friday upcoming at 7 p.m. Central.
7 Central, 8 Eastern.
Right on. Do you have another content creator workshop planned beyond that?
We do those about the top of every month. So actually, while I've got you, let's just look at that right now. Today's
Perfect.
The 15th. So that 29th is going to be Memorial Day weekend. Do you want to move one off of that and say maybe June 5?
Perfect.
You want to pencil that in? Okay. I'm going to pencil that in right now. And I'm going to do it on my, because if I don't do this right now, I will not, or if I go to sleep, I won't remember it. So let me put this in right now. Blake, you're in here. Does that work for you? June 5 at the regular time, which would be 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on that Sunday.
And just a quick note, Blake and I chatted briefly after the last one, and the next content creator workshop will focus on video content and things of that nature. Some of Blake's and Bad Tree Productions.
That's his specialty.
His specialty. So mark your calendar, June 5th, content creator workshop.
Yep.
With myself, with John, with Blake at Bad Tree Productions. And in the meantime, keep kicking ass and taking names, make good content, and give it a title and a description, people. Do it. No time. Love y'all. No Name Nationals community. It's a thing of wonder. Thank you all so much. Man, we're bailing out right here. Good night.